Hey everybody, welcome back to In Bed with a Millennial. I'm the Millennial Javeda Bay, and this is my bed, and it's still Kinktober, and I'm loving it. I'm enjoying my Kinktober, but I'm still talking about all things kink and BDSM, and today I specifically want to talk about the health benefits of kink and BDSM because kink and BDSM kind of has like a bad rep for people that aren't educated about it, and they think that oh, you only do it because like you were traumatized in your youth and that's why you do these things. And there's actually a lot of positive benefits to engaging in kink and BDSM. And I feel like we should talk about them more so more people recognize that instead of like the BS false perpetuations of why people are into kink and BDSM is all because of harm. So let's get into it. Okay, Javay, but like what do you mean health benefits? Like, how can there be health benefits from kink and BDSM? Well, there are health benefits from masturbating and from engaging in sexual activity with others. So why would there not be health benefits for actually engaging in kink and BDSM? And I'm not saying that like obviously kink and BDSM is not going to cure cancer, but it can help with a lot of other things. Some great examples are folks that deal with chronic pain. Kink and BDSM activities, especially things like impact play or sensation play with like Wartenberg wheels and stuff, can be a way to like release or distract from chronic pain and actually have some type of stimulation that is actually enjoyable. Also, kink and BDSM has a lot of different materials available to people. And I recently had someone that I interacted with at the sex shop, and they were like, posture collars absolutely have saved my back. Like my back pain is basically gone because I regularly wear my posture collar to help me. So again, health benefits. But outside of just like the physical aspects, there are so many mental and emotional health benefits of engaging in kink and BDSM, especially if you happen to be like me, somebody that's just like always like the mind is always working. Like what is it like when your mind's quiet? I have no idea. But when I'm engaging in kink and BDSM and I slip into subspace, it's a beautiful thing because it truly is very hard for me to turn off my mind. But subspace allows me the opportunity to just like, I turned off the outside world. I turned it all off. I get to actually just like be present in my body and feel things. So for folks that struggle with that a little bit more because, you know, we're busybodies, we overwork ourselves, whatever the reason might be, engaging in activities that allow you to slip into subspace, make it so that way it's a little bit more possible because trying to do it just like raw, all natural, it can be really, really difficult. Other ways that there are health benefits from kink and BDSM are in the communication realm, because if you've been on this channel for a minute, then you know majority of us have never learned the communication skills we need to engage in relationships with others. So by engaging in kink and BDSM, you have to learn those skills. Like if you're engaging in kink and BDSM and you're not communicating with your partners, baby, we need to have a talk. But when you're actually doing it correctly and you're educating yourself, you learn those communication skills that you can then apply to other areas of your life that are not just when you are with a dom or a play partner or things like that. Like you're able to be like, oh, I need to communicate my boundaries to XYZ person in my life because they're not, the way things are going right now is just not working for me, and I need to prioritize my care, well-being, and self in this relationship. So you learn your boundaries through kink and BDSM, and you learn how to articulate them because that's a part of engaging in play with others. You also learn skills like emotional regulation. Not in the sense that you like are always like heightened emotions engaging in kink and BDSM, but sometimes things do come up and you're like, oh my gosh, okay, obviously I need to like address this. So I'm going to pause what we're doing to be able to like deal with the emotions that are coming up for me, whatever that may look like. But you start to be able to recognize and notice when emotions are appearing in your body a little bit better than in general, because we kind of are not given space, especially as adults, to really feel our emotions, because you know we work and it's not encouraged at most jobs for you to actually cry when emotions come up and you get some hard news or whatever it might be, and you're in the middle of the workday. So actually gaining skills to be more healthy in terms of how you process your emotions is something that you can learn from Kink and BDSM. So when I say there's health benefits, I mean like across like every area you could think of. It's not just, oh, well, someone flogged me and so now that itch I had on my back is gone. Like, that's great, but that's not what I mean by health benefits. I mean the mental aspects, the emotional aspects, the physical, as well as the relational, because when it comes to engaging in play with others, the relationality is extremely important. And Kink and BDSM really teaches people how to do that. Because if you out here not having a conversation about safety practices, safety principles, which was last week's video, yes, no, maybe list, boundaries, aftercare, safe words. Like, if you aren't doing those things, then you're not learning those skills. You're also not engaging in Kink and BDSM as safely as you could be. But more importantly, like, if you're not using those skills, then you can't apply them to your everyday life. Meaning you can't apply them to a difficult conversation that you need to have with your mother or someone else in your family that you're like, okay, I just need to make these boundaries clear as to how this is going to go, because our typical patterns are not going to be productive in this situation and they're not healthy for any of us. Whatever it might be, you can learn so much that'll make your life, relationships, and experiences so much healthier. So if you're like, yo, this just trying it on my own and not having any real context or like conceptualization of how to do these things, it ain't working for me no more, consider Kink and BDSM. Like, let you learn it in a context that's not like, oh, I have to solve these problems. So that way it's a little bit easier to learn it. And then from there, you can apply it to the problems in life. But Kink and BDSM is a great starting point in learning and accessing some health benefits that might be harder to find in other avenues of life. And that's okay. But if you're like, Javay, I need a little bit more. You know what I'm going to tell you, right? Hello, go to my website on Wednesday, because there's going to be a blog that really dives on into this, to give you a better idea of all the different health benefits that you could potentially have from engaging in Kink and BDSM. And this is not to say that you have to do all the things, but if you engage in XYZ thing, then you might notice that these are the health benefits that are actually impacting your life in different ways. But yeah, there are health benefits to Kink and BDSM, and I think more people need to talk about it, more people need to recognize it, and we need to like just really move away from the narrative that like, oh, you're only in Kink and BDSM because you previously experienced harm. Like, no, I'm in Kink and BDSM because it makes me feel good and I enjoy it, and because it makes me healthier. So yeah, that's that. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, because hello, look at all the content. But also make sure you're following me on social media platforms, because I share so much other stuff on there. And definitely make sure you subscribe to my email newsletter, because if I get booted off of social media platforms, that's how I'm going to stay in contact with people while we come up with a new plan. But yeah, make sure you subscribe, follow, and join the email list. And I'm going to see you later. Deuces.